In this video, we're going to look at Math in Python Part 2. So again, I'm going to go to the Marin Maker Rappel page, scroll down until I find the starter code Math Part 2. When I click on it to open it, I'm going to go up to the top and click on the Fork button. This creates a copy in my account. When I look at this, the comments are our instructions. So the first comment tells me to comment the code below to predict how it will run. Well, let's just take a look at it. I have duck1, duck2, duck3. These are all variables, and they've been assigned a string. The duck1 is Huey, duck2 is Dewey, duck3 is Louie. Then I'm going to print duck1 and duck2. And I'm adding, using the plus sign, which is concatenating them. So I'm like gluing the strings together. And then I should print duck2. And then I assign duck2 to another variable, Webby. And then I print duck2 again. So this first one prints, it should print to the screen Huey and Louie. And then this one will print Dewey. This is assigning Webby to variable named duck2. And this is printing Webby to the screen. So let's run this and see if what I predict happens. Huey and Louie, Dewey, and then Webby. It did. Now let's create a variable that stores the number 10. So I'll say num equals 10. And output that variable. So I'll print num. And then multiply the variable by 5. So num equals num times 5. And then output the variable again. So let's print num again. And if I were to comment this, the very first variable that I assign num is assigning it a value of 10. And then I'm printing it to the screen. So I'm outputting 10. And then num equals num times 5 is reassigning num variable to 10 times 5, which is 50. And then this will print or output 50. So this is actually 10 times 5 or num times 5. And num could later change, so it might not always be 50. I could change num up here later. But this will output 50 right now, or num, which is currently equal to 50. So let's run that and see if I get 10 and then 50. And I do. I get 10 and then I get 50. So what do I notice about the variables up here? Variables can change their value. I can reassign and write over a previous value held inside a variable. So that's kind of important to know. If I had changed this to num2 and then printed and printed a num and then num2, I would get 10 and 50. See? So if I do want to overwrite the variable, then I keep the same name. Okay, so let's see. It says uncomment the code below and see what happens. So I have num5 and I have num2, 10. So I will uncomment the first part of code, and I'm going to print 5, print the num, and then, this is interesting, num plus equals 1, and then print num. Well, let's see what happens. So I printed 5, and then I printed 6. So very similar to how I reassigned the num up here to be 5, or 10 times 5. Down here, I took 5 and I added 1. So I don't have to say num equals num plus 1. I can just plus equals 1. I wonder if I change that to 4, would I get 9? I do. So as long as I'm doing a simple addition, plus equals will add whatever value I have here to the original value of the variable. Let's uncomment the second part. Now num2 equals 10. I will print 10 to the screen, and then num2 minus equals 2, and then it will print. Well, I'm going to guess that because I added, if I subtract, then num2 will become 8. So I should get 10 and then 8. And I do get 10 and 8. So the plus and the minus work without having to reassign the variable, or type the variable name again. I can just reassign it.